The Indianapolis Colts might release Carson Wentz. They're undecided on keeping Carson Wentz, and Jim Irsay has said he's willing to eat money to upgrade at the position. Chris Ballard said, "We thought we had it until the end of the season." Irsay was reportedly livid after Week 18, the Jacksonville loss, because this is a team with a league-high 7 Pro Bowlers that traded a first and a third for Carson Wentz. Is this a good or bad move? Are they giving up on Wentz too early? You in the Discord chat said that, Serge, you're going to be proud of me after this Wentz segment. I'm curious to hear what you're going to say, Joel. I want to know where you side on with this.
I'm apparently the resident Carson Wentz hater.
Oh, no.
Per sources.
No.
Per sources.
Per you.
You know what I am? I'm a realist. That's what I am when it comes to Carson Wentz.
Okay.
Because first of all, I don't know why it took till Week 18 for Jim Irsay to be upset over what this team has done with specifically talking about Carson Wentz. Because if you look from Week 10 on, that's 8 weeks of the season, he had 1 game over 225 yards.
They got figured out.
He had 2 games of 2+ touchdowns.
They have no weapons.
Bro, I don't give a damn.
They have no weapons.
I do not care. I saw Zach Wilson eat with no weapons. I don't 225. He did 225 once. It's 2022. That's abysmal.
You're gonna make me look up Zach's. All right, go ahead. Keep going.
You don't got to do all that.
Like, come on, bro.
He had games though. He had games.
87 against the Bills. They're the Bills. 234, 102, 170, 202, 226, 145, 51.
That's 2 games over 225.
Fair.
Okay. All right. So
and one was against the Buccaneers.
Okay. So swiftly moving on from that, Zach Wilson confirmed better than Wentz. Carson Wentz to me has a very low floor. You know, that 2020 season, is it a bit of an outlier? Sure. Because he came back, bounced back this year a little bit. His turnovers were way down compared to that season. But I still look at him, and kind of the same breath my friend to the left of me here, how he doesn't trust Stafford, which is blasphemous. I don't trust Wentz.
Get over it.
Wentz makes multiple boneheaded decisions a year or a game, and one that just sticks out is him getting sacked, throwing the ball with his left hand, which still baffles my mind.
But when Mahomes does it, he gets praised.
Yeah, because it's Mahomes. Because he completes it. Wentz gets intercepted.
Get out of here with this trash.
Please, let's not do Mahomes versus Carson Wentz right now. Like, what are we talking about?
Sorry, bro. I have an agenda.
But like I mentioned, I'm a realist. And when I look at this Colts team, who are they upgrading to? They don't have a first-round pick because they traded that away to acquire Carson Wentz. They also don't have a third-round pick. So they're looking at a second-round pick. Are they going to go and blow it up and trade a Darius Leonard or a Quentin Nelson? Because that's what you're going to need to do.
Heavens no.
You want to upgrade a quarterback? That's what you're going to need to do. Because if you don't want to upgrade, and maybe you want to be stagnant or about equal to Carson Wentz, Jimmy G, Jameis, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Mitch Trubisky, Andy Dalton, like, these are your options. Because if you want to go and upgrade... at quarterback, how are you going to do it without any draft picks? And the Carson Wentz is a bit interesting because I don't think they're going to release him, because if you release him before June 1st, it's $15 million in dead cap. You can't release him and not have Sam Ehlinger be your starting quarterback. What is interesting, though, you could trade him. The Colts would save $28 million if he's traded, which is a ton of money. I mean, there's no quarterback free agents, but there's a ton of money. And next year, his contract isn't guaranteed. So if a team is really interested in Carson Wentz, I don't know who would be that interested, but there is, I think, some trade market out there. Because
Steelers?
Maybe, I don't know if they want to trade him in conference, especially a team that probably be competing for a wild card spot. I don't know if they would do that, but the Steelers was the first team that came to my mind too, because a team could look at Carson Wentz and say, we could trade a 3rd-round pick right now, probably pick him up, and then just a 1-year deal. If he ends up being great,
Saints?
Cool. That's an option. If he ends up being great, that's awesome. We have a quarterback for this year. Maybe we could. He's signed through a couple of seasons. But if not, you could cut him. There's no dead cap, and you could just be on your merry way. Give a 3rd-round pick. But if you're the Colts, you have to stick with Wentz because you have no other options. You can't go out and trade for Deshaun. First of all, I mean, same division. I can get Watson. You can't trade for Russell Wilson. You're not trading for Aaron Rodgers. Unless, like I said, you are blowing it up and you're willing to give up some of your young stars like a Darius Leonard or Quentin Nelson. That's the only way it happens. These teams are going to want draft picks for the quarterback. The only other thing I could possibly see, which I don't think would happen, is Kirk Cousins. But I still don't think Kirk Cousins happens because you're going to have to give Wentz in a first. If I'm the Vikings, that's what I need at the minimum. And I still would rather just keep Cousins. Why do I want Wentz? So the Colts, while I love Irsay saying, I'll take on the dead money. I don't care. I want to upgrade a quarterback because that's what I want to hear from my owner. I want him to not be satisfied. Unfortunately, they're stuck with Carson Wentz because they don't have draft picks. They don't have a first this year. They have Carson Wentz in the first to move. You're not going to get much better than that.
Listen, I'm sorry. If you want to go, you can go.
Yeah, you've been talking all show
I have been, but rightfully so.
No,
rightfully so. This is kind of my show today.
If you want to go, you can go.
All right. I mean, I'm interested. You're in or out?
I'm out on Wentz.
Out?
Yes.
Y'all have seen the light. I'm ecstatic.
I'm not out yet.
Dude, stinks.
I'm not out yet. They're pass block this season.
But you're not out on him either. You want them to keep Wentz.
They don't, yeah, because he's better than Jimmy G.
Okay.
He is better than Jimmy G.
He has the higher ceiling than Jimmy G, lower floor, and I'd rather take the chance.
I'll say this. Their pass block this season was bad.
I know it was, but I want to say that I think it's because of Wentz. I think it's because he holds the ball too long.
But I'll say this. Their number 2 weapon was Zach Pascal with 384 yards. Next after that was actually Jonathan Taylor, their 3rd leading receiver this season, who is the second best running back in football. Derrick Henry is, in my opinion, number 1 when healthy. T.Y. Hilton, who missed a plethora of games, and then Mo Alley Cox. They need weapons. Before we can properly... What are we making this face about? Something different?
No, I was trying to spell disrespectfully, but I got it.
All right. Good for you. I'm glad you could spell that word. They need weapons before I can truthfully, completely say I'm out on Wentz. Their pass block was terrible. Their only solid weapon is Michael Pittman, and in my opinion, he's not a 1. He's not a 1. He's definitely not a 1A. Pittman. I think he's a solid, one of the better number 2s. I love his skill set. I don't think he's an alpha.
He's a great 2.
Excellent. He would be one of the
He's
better.
a low tier 1.
Agreed.
Yeah, like that Ravens game sticks out where he
But
just
again,
made some crazy catches.
is he one of those receivers that can be the only lone wide receiver option and eat still consistently?
No, but no. I don't know if there's really no one who can. We saw Cooper Kupp disappear for 75% of the game.
But he still broke out when you needed him to.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, obviously Mike Pittman's not.
That's what I'm saying. I just think, given the fact he was 27-7, the stats don't say it all again. This is one of these situations where statistically it doesn't sound bad, but towards the end of the season, he was downright bad. Against the Raiders, he was horrible. Against Jacksonville, he was even worse, which is like
that should be terrifying. You should be terrified.
I agree. I'm not totally disagreeing. I just think you need to put him in. Just give him another weapon. If he has another weapon and he's bad, hey. I just
don't know if another weapon like really changes Wentz. Unless you're getting a top 10 receiver. Okay, maybe.
Chris Godwin comes and signs for.
Maybe.
I don't even think they have the cap for that.
I'm sure they do. I'm sure you can make it.
I have it up, actually.
You saying...
They do have the money for it.
Yeah.
You saying we need to see Wentz with receivers bothers me.
Why? Bro, his number 2 had 300 yards. Barely.
He did it with... In Philly, he never had a great receiving core.
It bothers me.
He had like tight ends.
That was
a good O-line.
But did it with this... What you're saying with those receiving core is the exact same stat line.
What do you mean?
Okay.
They had... From that year, 2019, where they made the playoffs.
Yeah.
But they were what? 8-8? 9-7?
Yeah,
one of the two?
It was the NFC East.
27-7. This season, 27-7.
Context, though.
Okay.
Week 10 on, he was abysmal.
He was horrible.
Yeah.
He was horrible. But it was understood that this was Jonathan Taylor's offense.
Which is fine.
Agreed.
Yeah. But,
so what's the...
So you're telling me this is Jonathan Taylor's offense and Carson Wentz can't be a game manager in this offense.
But he was a game manager. They were winning games up until the last 2 weeks. Bro, they were a lock for the playoffs until they choked it against the Raiders and Jaguars.
That's what I'm saying. When you needed Wentz to do literally anything other than be a game manager, folded.
Unfortunately, true.
Like you're never.
I think that's actually different. It's actually not true.
Okay, go on.
And I will explain why. I don't like the point you made because he's 30. I mean, we know who Carson Wentz is as a quarterback already. We know. I don't think
he's only been truthfully like horrible one season.
Yeah,
2020.
But the flaws are still there in his game. And he's 30 years old. I don't think you can teach an old dog new tricks. I don't think like it may make his stats look better getting a number 1 receiver, but this team should have been in the playoffs. The Colts would suffer a $15 million dead cap charge if they release Wentz outright before June 1st.
That'd be nuts.
But they would save $13 million So actually, Jim Irsay said, I could take the money hit. I just want an upgraded quarterback because what I saw was abysmal. If they trade Wentz, they'd save $28 million on top of the remaining money on his contract. Let's be honest, though. They're not trading Wentz. Nobody's trading for Wentz. 100%.
Even the Saints?
The Saints are like,
Commanders?
But, bro, you look at Wentz's contract, you get out of it next year, no dead money.
Okay, but this is my rebuttal to that. You don't think teams are looking at Carson Wentz like, I could trade for him, pay him $28 million this season, or I can just let the Colts release him, pick him up for a 1-year contract worth $10 million, and I'll be good.
Him. It makes no sense.
Let me finish. Moving on from Carson Wentz, if they release him, gives them $51 million in cap space to play with this offseason. That's why it makes sense. If I'm another team,
but you don't have a quarterback.
Okay, can I finish my solution? God damn.
I know, but it's
I don't like the start to the solution. So
I'm gonna name some alternatives.
All right.
There are some cheaper alternatives on the market.
Jameis is getting named, no doubt.
I wasn't even gonna name him.
I'm shocked.
You're lying.
He's literally not written here. He's not written here.
Okay.
I'm shocked.
Teddy Bridgewater.
Rather have Wentz.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
That's rude. I'm sorry, Teddy. I'm sorry.
Jimmy Garoppolo. Marcus Mariota.
Rather have Wentz. What are we talking about here, bro?
Can I finish? Holy fucking shit.
I'm sorry, bro. These options really aren't great.
I don't need you to finish.
That's why I said cheaper alternatives. Can I get into my high tier ones? Oh my God.
All right.
Holy moly.
I would love to know how they're going to acquire these high tier players.
Okay. What the fuck was that?
Bro, you made fun of me. I didn't make fun of you.
That's fair. It's fair.
Okay.
It's fair.
High tier ones, Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson, which they probably don't get there. It's not individual trade. Aaron Rodgers.
Hell no. I'm sorry. I'll shut up.
And that's probably it.
You're being rude. Shut it. Shut up.
The problem with Carson Wentz is that he struggles with easy throws. You talked about when they asked him to be anything more than a game manager, he couldn't do it. I would argue the opposite. When they asked him to be a game manager, he couldn't do it. And that's the problem with him. He is a quarterback that is fixated on making plays outside of the pocket, playing hero ball. He doesn't take easy completions. And that's his problem as a quarterback. He still has sloppy mechanics, sloppy footwork. The left-handed pass against Tennessee.
He has no options. It's Michael Pittman. Pray to God that Jonathan Taylor breaks out a 50-yard run, and that's the offense.
I don't care about the options. I care about the process. And the process in which he makes his decisions is what is flawed to me.
That's unfair. Because Zach Pascal's not that dude. T.Y. Hilton's not that dude anymore.
Carson Wentz led no game-winning drives in 2021. 6 of Carson Wentz's 7 interceptions came after halftime, and he had a 59% completion percentage after halftime. That's down 6% from his regular season numbers, which is at 65%. You look at Carson Wentz stats through each quarter. He gets worse.
Yep.
His worst quarter is the third quarter, but in the fourth, he's not much better. 5 touchdowns and 3 picks in the fourth. He is not a quarterback who can succeed in this offense, in my opinion. Frank Reich tried to fix him. He couldn't. I know the numbers don't look bad, but Frank Reich even said it. We need a quarterback that's going to take the easy throws. Chris Ballard said it. We need a quarterback that's going to make the layups. Carson Wentz doesn't make the layups. The quarterback that sticks out to me that I didn't name because I was saving it was Matty Ice. Matt Ryan.
Okay. The fraud Matty Ice?
I want to see Matt Ryan on the Indianapolis Colts next season.
I like that.
The Falcons are wasting his career right now. They have no cap space. They're trying right now. Their big dilemma is trying to keep Cordero Patterson in the building. Falcons, for the love of God, trade Matt Ryan to the Colts, and I guarantee the Colts win this division. There's no doubt about it. Matt Ryan with this offensive line. You talk about Michael Pittman. Yeah, he's not a great one. He'll succeed with him.
Bro.
Give him Jonathan Taylor. He'll do his thing with him.
Do you know the dead cap hit if they trade Matt Ryan before June 1st?
They could trade him after.
They could. Yeah, they could. It was training camp, I guess.
I know it's a lot.
After the draft, too.
That's why trading him is tough.
You take $40 million of dead cap.
Yeah.
And all you could get is 1 first.
Yeah.
I like it. Don't get me wrong. I love the idea.
The Falcons are not going anywhere anytime soon.
I love the idea.
You need to address
Financially,
the
though.
weapons before you can really over-evaluate the quarterback right now.
And if it's not Matt Ryan,
And bro, damn. If you trade him after June 1st, it's 24 million, 25 million really dead this year and 15 million dead in 2023. You're taking a huge financial burden.
the Falcons are not doing anything. I know,
No,
but
for sure.
I know it's an unrealistic scenario, and that's why, based on the numbers, Matt Ryan probably gets stuck in Atlanta, and I'm going to be crying. I'm going to be crying for him.
In 2023, though,
when he's like 39.
He's going to be that much better when he's 38. Like, it's a year away.
Yes. If it's not Matt Ryan, give me Jimmy G.
You'd rather have Jimmy G than Wentz.
I'd rather have Jimmy Garoppolo than Wentz. He's a road warrior. I can trust him in big-time games. I know he didn't show at these playoffs, but he was injured. Jimmy Garoppolo isn't a great quarterback. He's a mid-tier quarterback. We understand that. But we've seen Jimmy Garoppolo in a Kyle Shanahan offense that's run-centric, succeed, and go far into the playoffs. The Colts, who have an elite defense, who have Jonathan Taylor, give him 300 carries a season. Jimmy Garoppolo just has to hit the layups that Carson Wentz can't hit. If they get Jimmy G, they can win the division. He's a big-time player. He shows up. He has leadership that George Kittle has raved about. Deebo Samuel came out defending him. That's my quarterback. Regardless of what you guys are saying, he wins. Check the win-loss record. I'm not a big fan of quarterback as a winning stat, but Jimmy Garoppolo is an upgrade over Carson Wentz, and I stand on that. I don't think Carson Wentz is a viable option for the Colts next season. And Jimmy Garoppolo is on a one-year deal. The Colts don't have to commit to him long-term. It makes sense. It makes sense. Get a receiver for Wentz. Go get a Christian Kirk with Michael Pittman. Go get a tight end. Maybe Dalton Schultz comes along. See what Jimmy G does. That's my guy. He's a road warrior. And you have him playing in a dome? Come on.
Kidding me?
I need to know what exactly Jimmy G is doing different outside of Carson Wentz. What hitting
He's safer.
Hitting
He has
the
a higher.
flats.
He has a higher floor. That's it.
Yeah.
Hitting the flats.
That's important, though.
He has a higher.
That's
floor.
important.
That's the difference. He has a higher floor than Wentz.
So you're telling me right now, as currently stands, this crew of weapons, you're winning more games with Jimmy G.
Yes.
Ugh,
I don't know.
that's so hard for me. Michael Pittman's solid. I'm like, the second best was under 400 yards. Can you level with me?
Jimmy Garoppolo went to a San Fran team in
Had
2017 that was
Debo,
0-5
had George
and went
Kittle,
5-0 with them.
whatever you want to say about the scheme fit, Elijah Mitchell was amazing. Brandon Ayuk's a solid number 2 option, especially when you have George Kittle. They had a plethora of options.
In 2020.
And he had Shanahan calling plays.
Yes, that's huge.
Come on, man.
In 2020.
Would be going to a worse division though. You're going from the best probably.
But
to
are they better than the Titans with Jimmy G? No.
Why not?
They're not. Because,
Why?
I mean,
Titans have showed the last 3 years they won the division.
Why can't they be better, though? I don't understand.
I think Tennessee. Tannehill's better. The rosters are close because the Colts have better defense.
This is the last thing I'll say about Jimmy Garoppolo and about the Colts as a whole.
I like Vrabel more. Yeah, I still take the Titans.
I freaking forgot what I was going to say.
There we go.
So let me just try to wing it right now. Jimmy Garoppolo, to me, I just think is a safer option than Carson Wentz. You need a quarterback to hit the flats. And I actually just remembered, the flats was a key word. Nyheim Hines last year in 2020 with Phillip Rivers had 70 receptions. That was down by 30 receptions this past season to 40 with Carson Wentz.
Yep.
There's a reason for that. It's because he doesn't hit the flats.
Jonathan Taylor also didn't take over last year till late in the season.
You're right, but Nyheim Hines definitely had a reduced role because Carson Wentz
And
wasn't taking the easy stuff.
And Taylor should not be coming off the field for Nyheim Hines.
I want a quarterback that's going to play safe, especially if
why?
this is
the
why.
NFL is the complete opposite.
This
of
is
that.
why. I want a quarterback that's going to manage the game if my scheme is revolved around a running back that can hit 2,000 yards. That's really it.
The two quarterbacks just in the Super Bowl were Stafford with the most interceptions and Joe Burrow with like the 8th most interceptions. So
Things change every year, though.
Being safe, I understand what
Jimmy
you're saying.
Garoppolo is in their 2019.
But you need.
It's like
you need to have
Mahomes is one of the
upside.
riskier quarterbacks there are in the NFL.
I don't see the upside with Jimmy G. Like
I'm not saying I see
not
the
that I
upside.
see much with Wentz either,
I'm not
to be
seeing the
fair.
upside, but I'm saying that you're not committing to Jimmy G long term. It's a 1 year, $20 million deal.
Wait, and how are you getting? We're gonna trade a second for Garoppolo, I guess. Okay, you don't have a first. Now you don't have a pick to the 3rd round.
So you're telling me you just traded a first and a third for Wentz. Now for a probably worse quarterback, but apparently in Joel, in your situation,
very marginal.
A better scheme, a team fit. You're trading a second round pick now.
Now you don't have picks. They don't have a third this year.
Like these are good picks.
So they don't have I'm pretty sure they don't have a first or a third this year. They would have a second, which they would trade for Jimmy G. They have a fourth. What are we doing here?
I'm not in love with it.
I would just rather Jimmy G over Carson Wentz. At this point in time, I like Jimmy G over Carson Wentz.
I'm not going to push back crazy.
And I will say this.
Guys.
Last offseason, when the Colts were pushing for a quarterback, my number one guy was Matthew Stafford. Check the tape. Roll it back. That's my guy.
Yeah,
saying.
Much rather have Stafford
what did he say?
Wentz.
Check the tape on what?
What did you say?
Oh, Stafford was my guy to go to the Colts. I wanted him on the Colts.
Good
thing he went to the Rams, though. He got a championship.
Yeah.
But the Colts, that was my number one option. That was my number one pick. I trust Stafford.
Now this.
I trust him, man.
Whoa.
When did I say I didn't trust him, man?
Dude, I'm so sick
You are
of
a
you.
sicko. Man went from saying, can we wait one more year? To I trust.
Watch when they scheme his ass up, man.
Oh my God, man.
So what do we think happens here?
I'm crying.
Do we think...
I think they release Wentz. I do. I really don't. I would be shocked if he's the Colts quarterback next year.
What do you think, Drew?
He's playing. He's staying.
I don't know what's going to happen. They should keep him.
Think so?
They should. Jimmy G's not... I'm not trading a second for Jimmy G to release Wentz. It's like I'm just losing a second for maybe a marginally better quarterback, which I don't think is true.
You keep Wentz this year.
Yeah.
Next year he's a free agent?
No, but you could cut him with no dead money.
No dead money. So what's the harm of
100%.
one more season?
I agree.
Bring in a Chris Godwin. Bring in someone who's actually going to impact this wide receiver core drastically. So when you'll have JT, you'll have Michael Pittman, who could really strive in that number 2 role, and an alpha male with Chris Godwin. Take it easy. Take it easy. All right, come on. Jesus Christ. Chris Godwin, maybe Devontae Adams, Allen Robinson, one of these 3. And see what happens. Even a Mike Williams, who could take the top off more than Michael Pittman. That opens the field.
Anything is better.
I'll be honest. They are very similar receivers.
Oh.
Williams and Pittman.
I disagree strongly.
I feel like Pittman's better intermediately.
Correct.
He is.
Which is what Mike Williams is an over-the-top receiver.
Yeah, that's where he's most dominant.
Yeah, but they're similar, though. Pittman does that, too.
But he's not as physical as Mike Williams.
He just gets scared every time he goes up for a ball because he.
I will say, he definitely doesn't have the body type of Williams, but Pittman gets up there and gets it too.
Yeah, he's a skinny guy.
But that's because he has to be put in these situations.
No, I think it's just he's good in those situations.
I do think he's
the
solid,
only player on the team who can do it.
Which is
like he's the only player on the team who can do damn near anything.
That's my point.
I don't know if I'm the Chargers, would I rather want Pittman or Williams?
Pittman. I'd rather have Pittman.
I'd rather have Pittman as well.